what you get for the money. Comparing home prices from coast to coast. 6 homes, 6 locations, 6 lifestyles, all the same price. Contemporary beauty is a subjective notion, and nowhere is that more obvious than in million-dollar home design. From a ranch on 2.5 acres in Jackson Hole to an Art Deco 2-story in Oak Park, Illinois, even though less than 1% of us can afford them, we're still curious to see. Homes for $1 million, just ahead on what you get for the money. Welcome to What You Get for the Money. I'm Mike Siegel. You know, a famous philosopher once said that we live only to discover beauty. Everything else is waiting. Well, there's no waiting in this Pittsburgh Colonial. Going up, anyone? Or this 4-level Philly show home. But if stairs undo you, then we've got some garden-level grandeur in Boulder, Colorado. The city with a reputation for left-leaning environmentalists is also home to outdoor enthusiasts. The regal Rocky Mountains and abundant fields of flowers typify Boulder, Colorado, as do a profusion of Victorian houses. But this college town fosters another brand of architecture, as eclectic as the people who live here. One of Boulder's more distinct neighborhoods is Chautauqua Park.
You have old colonial homes, and you have some of the 1950s and 60s ranches that are being updated as well. It's sandwiched between the university, the mountains, and downtown Boulder.
When Carrie Higgins and Greg Pent moved to Boulder in 2003, they bought one of these 1950s homes for $640,000. Today it's worth twice that at $1.2 million.
When we saw the house, it had the structure and the bones of an incredibly architecturally pleasing home.
The outdoorsy couple from Georgia shared a vision for the 1957 house, even though it was an ugly duckling.
The house itself was, should I say, hideous? I mean...
Yeah, it was definitely hadn't been touched for 30 years and was in need of a major reconstruction.
The duckling became a swan once they gutted it and showed off the original windows.
One of my favorite features of this house is all the windows and the natural light that pours into this house. We spend a lot of time in the outdoors, so when I'm at home, I want to feel like nature is still part of my home.
Nature flows in and out of the tri-level house with its open floor plan. A flagstone patio on one side is a great place for lunch, while the deck on the opposite wing is a tranquil escape.
It's part of that outdoor living in Boulder. And in Colorado, with the climate, you're really out there 9 months out of the year.
If they're not outdoors, Greg and Carrie are usually in the kitchen. They poured over $150,000 into this room alone, turning it into a chef's dream.
When you think about redesigning a kitchen, it's the one place you don't want to be afraid to spend money. So, of course, we chose to go with high-end appliances, granite countertops, high-end cabinets with nice finishes like the glass and the hardware.
Another unique finish is the fireplace mantle in the living room. Greg designed the curved steel showstopper to soften the angles of the house. And no corners were cut with the lighting design.
One of the things that we've learned in redesigning and renovating this home is lighting is one of the most important things that you can concentrate on and spend money on. We found that hiring a lighting consultant was probably the best money spent on this house.
The guest bathroom sparkles with high-end touches.
It's the one spot that we picked in the house where, you bring in a little bit of bling. And that's where we brought in, some of the more expensive materials, the honed absolute black granite countertop, the travertine tile and the glass tile in the shower area there.
The master bedroom was made more private with a simple applewood addition.
We built a standalone closet to add closet space and make a little dressing room, which made the bedroom smaller, square footage rise, but gave more privacy space for the bathroom dressing area.
Privacy abounds with this house. One of the biggest perks is the lot itself.
This neighborhood, the lots are really large. Everyone has a large backyard. A lot of the houses back to open space. So it's unique in its style for Boulder.
In one afternoon, Greg and Carrie can hike in Chautauqua with their puppy, bike to town, or wander Boulder's notorious Pearl Street Mall.
There's street performers out here, as you can hear some of them now. There's little kids, there's playgrounds, there's water features for kids to play in. You know, it's typical Boulder. You see every walk of life down here.
Freaks, a lot of freaks.
Every now and then you see a freak or two in Boulder.
So for $1.2 million in this unique and freaky mountain town, you can cash in on a 3,100 square foot, custom designed mid-century modern remodel with top-of-the-line finishes, a shishi kitchen, designer lighting, 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, and a landscaped yard that melts into miles of Colorado open space. Coming up, 2 architects plus 1 house equals 2 very different opinions. Just ahead on what you get for the money. Welcome back to What You Get for the Money. It was the birthplace of Ernest Hemingway, and it's 10 miles due west of downtown Chicago. It's also where we found the creative collaboration of 2 married architects. The second city is known for its cultural diversity and history, and of course its sandy beaches. Okay, sandy lakefronts. 10 minutes away is Oak Park, home to Frank Lloyd Wright for 20 years and filled with mature trees and varied architecture.
There's excellent shopping in downtown Oak Park, convenient sidewalk access between shops and movie theaters and the downtown library. It's a wonderful community for walking and shopping.
The Mazzero family bought this 1939 Art Deco home in 2002 for $650,000. And while they love it now, the Buenos Aires natives had a different feeling when they first laid eyes on it.
It looked like a fortress, and it has some bushes on the front. And I remember particularly driving by and saying, "What an ugly house."
Daniela Blanco and husband Daniel Mazzero are both architects. They immediately saw the potential in this space, even though they sometimes butted heads over exactly what to do with it.
We have changed our minds so many times.
In a way, it's a miracle that we got to do this house, that we finally worked our way through all the decisions that we had to make.
After a year's worth of extensive renovations, which cost them almost as much as the house itself, the Mazzero home now has 4,200 square feet and is worth $1.5 million.
It was like we put a bomb inside the house because we really got rid of everything except the exterior walls.
Almost 30% of the budget went for this 2-story steel and glass addition at the back. On the first floor, there's the big kitchen where the family spends much of its time. On the second floor, a master suite with huge windows that overlook the backyard and play area, allowing mom and dad to keep an eye on the kids. But the windows also bring the outside inside.
When we moved into the house, there was a huge thunderstorm. So we lay down in bed, we opened all the curtains, turned off the light, and we could look at the skies and see all the thunder, and it was great.
The addition is modern by design, decades removed from the Art Deco exterior, and that concerned at least one vocal neighbor.
She came and said, "I cannot believe the village is letting you build this monstrosity. It is ugly and I don't like it." And I'm like, "Well, we all have different tastes, and you will see when we are done. Maybe you will like it. It's not going to look bad."
The colorful accent walls, the modern furnishings, and the floors warmed with radiant heat show the family's up-to-date side.
The most consistent reaction that we get from people when they visit the house is how different it is. It's not like anything they have ever been in.
They live here in Oak Park because it's close to Daniel's office. And every minute he saves in the daily commute translates to more family time at home.
I don't want to spend 2 hours of my day commuting. I want to be able to come back home and, be with the kids in the quiet neighborhood like Oak Park.
This once-in-a-lifetime project helped the Mazzeros learn the art of compromise.
We both have very strong ideas, and we both felt that, I have the education and the background to feel that the way I say it should be done is the correct way. So we had it was, don't you think, that very emotional.
But we're still together, so that's,
We survived.
happy ending. We live happily ever after.
So for $1.5 million, you get a 4,200 square foot, 4-bedroom, 5-bath home in one of the most sought-after areas of Metro Chicago, and just 10 minutes to the nearest beach. Coming up, another Heartland Architects art, this time in National Park Country. Next on What You Get for the Money. Welcome back to What You Get for the Money. Nestled in big, wonderful Wyoming, Jackson Hole is about as scenic and appealing as anywhere in the country, and not just a bucking broncos and roaming buffalo. Just one look at the majestic Tetons is enough to tell you why some folks would pay a fortune to live in Jackson Hole.
The sunrises that we see in the morning are always different, and the sunsets are also phenomenal and change every day.
It's a place with heaps of Western charm, but for homeowners, that charm comes at quite a price. Homes in this neighborhood average around $1 million, in part because there's very little private land on which to build.
Okay, this is going to be a huge one.
When architect Eric Logan and his wife Tracy got lucky in Denver real estate, they left that city and came home to Jackson.
It was both a job opportunity and the incredible environment here. I mean, there are a lot of other reasons to be here besides work.
The Logan's 2,400 square foot, 3-bedroom, 3-bath home and an 850 square foot separate guest house sit on 2.5 scenic acres. The 4-year project, completed in 2001, cost around $450,000. Now, it's valued at $1 million.
There are a lot of people in this valley who have made a lot of money off of real estate transactions. That's not really our goal here. We're here to live. We need to have a place to raise the girls.
You got me.
Eric's design inspiration came from historic ranch buildings seen throughout this part of Wyoming.
As an architect, that's one of the things I believe we have a responsibility to make buildings fit into the landscape.
With the home's shake-shingled roof and the weathered steel siding, the Logan compound looks like it's been here for generations. But when unsuspecting visitors walk inside,
from the outside, it looks like your typical Western house, and then they come in and they see concrete floors and a metal ceiling and contemporary furniture and contemporary art. And so I think that's a shocker to people because that's not what they're expecting.
for the Logans, the unexpected is simply home. A do-it-yourself effort that had Eric acting as his own general contractor to help cut costs. And one way the couple managed to save was to build without a basement. And because this is a house with an active family, the Logans use durable but inexpensive materials.
They're made out of maximum density fiberboard, which is a common material used in cabinet making. It's recycled kind of wood particles and glue.
Throughout the main house and the guest house, all of the cabinets are made from raw MDF board, finished with 3 coats of clear lacquer that gives them a rich ochre shine. And instead of knobs and pulls, the doors are cut with slots just big enough for your hand.
Everything really deliberately put together out of sort of simple materials that I think speak for themselves.
Then there are these handy display shelves.
I thought it was interesting that the thing was actually spring-loaded and would sort of come up and disappear by itself. It's sort of useful when you want it to be, and if you don't want to use it, it's out of the way. And it's a nice shiny thing. I like shiny things.
The Logans converted their garage to this master bedroom and bathroom, complete with this stainless steel soaking tub. a splurge for wife Tracy that was left out of the original plan.
He claims it's the budget buster of the addition, but it's just the price you have to pay, you know, when you're a good mom and a good wife.
As for the guest house, the Logans built it as a retreat for visiting grandparents.
It's nice to have options for guests and for us.
The space includes a bedroom, a living area, full kitchen, and bath.
We do try hard not to take it for granted.
For the Logans, the reason they're here is the picture postcard view that can be seen from every room.
I would probably just describe it as a modest house that is contemporary, but is a low maintenance and fun and a great place to entertain and hang out and raise your kids.
In Jackson Hole, living in the shadow of the Tetons, in a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,400 square foot home and guest house will set you back $1 million. Still ahead, a high-speed trip to $1 million properties in Pittsburgh, Seattle, and Philadelphia when What You Get for the Money returns. Welcome back to What You Get for the Money. Here's a cross-country look at homes priced at $1 million in Pittsburgh, Seattle, and Philadelphia. If you want to live the high life in Pittsburgh, Squirrel Hills Beechwood Boulevard is the place to be. The Beechwood Commons townhomes are brand new and start at just under $1 million, like this fully loaded 4,000 square foot surprise package.
The exterior has a colonial old style feel from the early 1900s, and the interior of the home is contemporary and has all of the amenities of today.
Amenities like high-end appliances, cherry polyform cabinets, and sandblasted glass fronts that stretch to the 10-foot high ceiling. The automatic blinds connect with the lighting system to change the mood with the touch of a button. There are 4 levels of open floor plan and an elevator if you don't want to climb stairs. Don't miss this, a second-floor master bedroom with his and hers bathrooms. $1.3 million will buy you a sweet 4,000 square foot pad in Pittsburgh, but don't forget about the city's 3% property tax, which would run you more than $30,000 a year. The city, best known for coffee houses and bookstores, holds just as much appeal on rainy days as sun-filled afternoons. In fact, there are enough sunny, warm days to swim outside in Puget Sound, Lake Washington, or the backyard.
The owners of the home just love to swim, and they love to swim outdoors. And even for 4 or 5 months, they thought, well, it might be worth it to have a pool in their backyard.
This $1.2 million cottage brings the East Coast to the front door with its knotty pine floors imported from New Hampshire and an heirloom chandelier taken from the owner's New York home. Flowers are papered on the walls for a year-round garden. Built-in cabinets provide plenty of storage in this compact 3-bedroom home. And when the owners want to get out of their gourmet kitchen,
There's a village nearby with restaurants and shops, and there's a bathing beach about a block away from here.
and a couple of coffee shops nearby. This is, after all, Seattle. In this Philadelphia neighborhood that's on the upswing, nothing says the high life like an elevator to shuttle you and your groceries up and down your 4-story, 3-bedroom, 4-bath home.
When you come into the home, the details are just impeccable. You've got the best of the best. Every detail has been paid attention to, from the flat screen television to the Viking appliances in the kitchen. Nothing has been skimped upon.
A gourmet kitchen with high-end appliances, granite countertops, and a separate wine refrigerator are the perfect recipe for the gourmet cook.
One of the most unique features is the vacuuming system. You can just stick a hose in on any floor and, voila, you don't have to carry the machinery up and down the steps, unless, of course, you wouldn't want to put an extra one in your elevator.
If the gadgets don't impress you, the details might. From crown molding and bamboo floors to designer bathrooms.
You get a very wide 25-foot home that allows you 4 floors, including a finished basement and a roof deck.
And if that still doesn't do it for you, the $1 Million View definitely will. What would it be like to have an elevator in your house? Don't you wonder? Well, that's today's show. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on What You Get for the Money. Find more at fineliving.com. Real information for real people.